Hello and welcome. Today we are going to draw a cute version of the Indian god Lord Ganesha. He is also a member of the divine family we have been working on so far. So let's begin. We first start with a rough sketch just to get the idea of what we will be going to draw, and you can say as a framework for our drawing. Okay. Now Lord Ganesha is usually depicted as a strong person with a big belly, or you can say pot belly something, and especially he has a head of an elephant. I mean, you can see in every version of Lord Ganesha, we see the one thing that is common is that elephant head. And there is actually a very awesome story about how he got that elephant head. Actually, there are several versions of the story, but let's discuss on the most popular ones. One of these stories say that Lord Ganesha was created by his mother Parvati from a lump of clay. You can find the similarity with how you see the Wonder Woman from DC Comics was created by Hippolyta from a lump of clay. Now, she made Ganesha to protect her home while she was bathing or doing some work. Now, Lord Ganesha was so fearsome a protector, he didn't let anyone to enter the home, not even the servants, or I can say the devotees of the goddess and god Shiva, his father. Now, the spirits or the devotees of Shiva didn't know him, and he didn't know them. So the devotees, when they were beaten by Ganesha, they returned to Lord Nandi. He is one of the chief devotee of Lord Shiva and Parvati, and said that there is a boy, he is defeating us, he is killing us, he is not letting us enter the home. So Lord Nandi also went to fight this mysterious boy, and as you can see, he is also defeated. Finally, it's time for Lord Shiva to intervene, and he came, he spoke to the boy, but as you know, Lord Ganesha didn't know Lord Shiva, and Shiva didn't know Lord Ganesha. So the fight began, and Lord Shiva cut his head off. Now, when goddess Parvati came to know what happened to her son, she became enraged and she threatened everyone. Now, to calm her anger, all the gods and devotees, they started finding some remedies, and finally they found one remedy that if some animal's head or someone's head is placed on Ganesha's body, he will revive. So actually it was thought that his own head should be placed on his head, but they could not find his head, so they find a beautiful elephant and cut his head off, and finally placed the head on Ganesha's body, and this is how he got his elephant head. Now we are almost at the end of our rough sketch, so now let's make a beautiful line art out of this. For line art, we will be using the mapping pen in Clip Studio Paint, and of course a vector layer, because the corrections like erasing, thickening, widening or changing the shapes of the lines are easier in a vector layer. Like every other Hindu gods and goddesses, Lord Ganesha also has some specific weapons and specific mounts associated with him. Let's see his weapon first. He is actually depicted holding a kind of giant great axe or something kind of like an elephant prod. I think that's what it's called. However, let's continue with the great axe. Let's make it more intricate, but not just a flimsy type of axe, but a strong with some good designs. And now we are on to the shoulder pads. I mean, designing his shoulder pads, some ornaments here and there. So I am thinking about giving him a proper battle suit type of, I mean, a divine battle suit kind of armor. There will be some chainmail and a big giant belt buckle like this, just to make the big and strong impression, despite its being a cute drawing, but he is actually a big guy. The mouse here is actually Lord Ganesha's mount. I think he was called Mushika. Unlike other gods and goddesses, he actually depicts some obstacles or something bad or negative aspect, and Lord Ganesha being his master, it actually depicts that the devotees of Lord Ganesha can overcome all the obstacles. Okay, so let's give him a giant cape to make him more fearsome or magnanimous kind of. Let us also give him a beautiful and majestic headgear like a king. This headgear is actually pretty common in some parts of India. Let's try something with Mushika's face. I think the sleeping pattern would look nice, and the mouth also like yawning type would look good. It will match the cute nature of the art. The line art is complete. Let's go to the coloring phase. To work faster, we first select the outline with smart selection, then invert the selection so only the line art portions can be inside the coloring range. I mean, only that portion can be colored, and then fill the selected portion. And now our base layer is ready. We will be putting some colors to make it a flat layer, some yellow and blue for the decorations, and a little red, make it a little vibrant. Now the red, blue and gold is actually a pretty fitting combination for showing something like king type or regal, you can say. Now Lord Ganesha is actually one of the, if not the most popular deity in India at present, and as he is called the destroyer of obstacles or the master of obstacles, we usually pray to him before beginning of anything, any good thing, any venture, so that we can succeed. Now Lord Ganesha is not only venerated as the destroyer of obstacles or master of obstacles, he is also venerated as the God of Intellect, God of letters and scriptures, and that's why in Hinduism, before beginning any writing sessions, he is worshipped. According to legends, he was the scribe of the great Indian epic Mahabharata, because the epic was so vast and so contextual and convoluted and complicated that nobody except him could understand the meanings of all the lines and write it down. Lord Ganesha is actually has several names and titles and epithets like many other Indian gods and goddesses. Let's discuss on that. The first name Ganesha is actually main lord of a group or gun. So gun is actually, you can say, it's kind of denote a group or a multitude or a categorical system type. Or in Indian scriptures, the gun are actually kind of a semi-divine race that actually the followers of Lord Shiva, and Ganesha, son of Lord Shiva, is the king or master of them. As he is also associated or called as the destroyer or the master of obstacles, there is a Sanskrit name for him, that is Vigneshwara. Ishwar means the god or master, and Vigna means obstacle. Vigna is a Sanskrit word that means obstacle, and he is named like that. There is Ganesha also is associated with Ganapati, means the same. There is also Ganadhip, it also means the king of the Ganas. He is also called Lambodar or Mahodar because of his pot belly. Actually, it is called that his body contains all the time, past, present, and future. That's why he has such a big belly. And now we are at the lighting and shading stage. We generally use the multiply layers for shading and add glow layers for lighting. These are actually the layer types. We can change it from their layer properties. There are multiple layer types like normal, multiply, darken, add glow, screen, and many more. Each of these layer types has its own functions. It changes how you color something. For shading, I personally prefer multiply layer or the overlay layer. The overlay layer can be used for both lighting and shading, but in case of lighter colors, the shading looks like a little bland. So I generally prefer multiply over the overlay layer for shading purposes. Here we will be mostly using the soft airbrush and lasso fill tool for most part of the shadow, and sometime some pen tool like the mapping pen for some delicate work. To make it more cute, we have added some blush on the cheeks. To make the body armor looks like a warrior's chainmail, we are going to add some chains, and I have a brush to do exactly like that. And here it is. Let me just adjust the color with the background and paint it over his body. And there you go. We have a beautiful chainmail armor for Lord Ganesha. Let's add some shading and some lighting to make it like a real chainmail, a metallic chainmail armor. Now about the family of Lord Ganesha, there are various versions. By family, I am actually telling about his wife and children. In some areas, he is said to be celibate or brahmachari, as in Sanskrit. In other areas, he is a married deity. In this case, the married god case, he is said to have actually two wives: Riddhi, that means prosperity, and Siddhi, that means enlightenment. There is a famous painting of Raja Ravi Varma depicting Lord Ganesha with his two wives, which is titled Riddhi Siddhi. Now about his children, it is often said that he has two sons, Shiva, which means auspiciousness, and Lava means profit. In some scriptures, the Shiva is replaced by Khima, which means safety. Here's a funny thing about Lord Ganesha is that he has a big, great sweet tooth. I mean, he is actually offered sweets like modaks, and also in various paintings and idols, he is actually shown to be carrying a plate or bowl full of sweets and enjoying them. Apart from Hinduism, Lord Ganesha is actually seen or sometimes partially worshipped in other religions also, like Buddhism and sometimes in some cases of Jainism. These worships has a kind of vocational or social aspect. You see, as he was particularly worshipped by traders and merchants, as you can see his name, his son's name, his wife's names, they all means prosperity, profit and things like that. Now, these merchants, they also went out of India for commercial ventures in mainly Southeast Asia, and that's why the forms of Ganesha has already been found in art of Philippines, Java, Bali, Borneo, Indonesia, Japan, even in some parts of China. Now they have some distinct features different from the Indian Ganesha. In some instances of Buddhism, Ganesha is also regarded as a remover of obstacles and the god of success like Hinduism. Especially you can see in Thailand, it's a practice. He is also regarded mainly as the god of arts and academics in these areas. Now let's add some shadows around the wrinkles of his clothes and also some light on the side, a little pinch of soft airbrush around the darker parts of the shadow, and some strong shadow for the lower part of his cape. And now we are at the eyes. This is the most beautiful thing in this kind of art style. Let's add some depth, some glowing light, some reflection on those big pupils, and I think it's almost done. We add the cape again, some airbrush for last minute's addition, and finally at the mount, the cute mouse. Some darker areas for the hard shadow and also to depict some body hairs, some dashes of white for the hard light and also around the hairs. I think they call fur, maybe. Some airbrush for the body, shadows around those big ears, some works on the long tail and that red nose, and I think we are done. Okay, so here's our final artwork of Ganesha. Here is the divine family we have been working on. There's goddess Lakshmi, there's goddess Saraswati, and now we have Lord Ganesha. We are almost done, just one god left, and that's it. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.